And I believe we are live with another session of Roll for Story, the Clawed Coast. And we're a couple of players down this week, but didn't stop us from getting a few other little errands and tidbits done that the players have chosen
We
to do
survive a
around.
great storm in D&D. We do not survive a storm in real life.
Yes, the wind has blown our players off course, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they're finding a safer route back. In the meantime, we're still here. Last session, you guys did some discussion, planning, and overall reflecting about the events of last session, previous that. And you've got the Mistress of the Sand still by your side. She says that she wishes to return to Gydia with you and effectively confront the Sultan. He says perhaps you will find some sort of redemption in doing that. And Carius took that to mean revenge. Let's see. Irina, you stepped into this strange cave at the back of the dungeon and found there's like little getaway effectively. It's a peaceful retreat where you guys could have a long rest, relax, and discuss. And I think whilst you were there, Levan, you also uncovered a old, tattered rucksack at the back of the cave, and in it was a scroll.
I like that you say uncovered. He literally beelined for it the minute he entered the room.
Yeah, yeah. I guess in my interpretation, it was kind of more hidden, but
Yeah.
on the map, it was pretty damn visible. So
Also,
yeah,
Llewellyn's perception.
Yeah.
in my so just to
That
clarify,
mound looks surprisingly bag-like.
that explains it.
But also, even if that wasn't there, he probably would have wanted to sit up there with his feet in the water anyway. It looked like the comfiest
Yeah.
spot.
Everyone else, it looked like a normal rock, but you spotted it. Only you. Perhaps it's been there for decades, maybe more.
Possibly Andy.
All right, but that's enough talking from me. You guys are fully rested. It's a new day, new dawn. What do you guys want to do? I guess another good question is, how is Andy feeling? How is Andy doing?
What?
Just because of the craziness that the last day was, having your father's killer effectively ended.
I
So
mean, in all honesty, it was a heck of a lot of information for her to process, and she was unconscious as well and stabbed and whatever. I think it's still not all caught up with her. She's probably a bit out of it, even though she has slept.
see.
You know, knowing that the person who killed her dad is dead, but her dad himself is probably not dead.
Which, I mean, is a win-win situation if you think about it. But also
Not for
very
the guy who
dramatic.
died.
She is only tiny and only has a tiny brain.
You
Not
said
for the
it, not
captain
me.
began.
I remember where we actually ended the session. It was
Yeah.
after our discussion with the guy we unpetrified.
No, didn't you also get trapped in the sand room?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of
That's where we
shenanigans. I totally
ended.
forgot.
No,
And you were gonna unfreeze the dwarf, weren't you?
yeah, I was going to unfreeze the dwarf. Yeah, the sand room happened before our long rest because I
Yeah.
had
That's fair.
no spells.
Okay. So if that's the case, I'll just move you two for now.
The storm has
But
jumbled
yes,
our brains.
totally forgot the shenanigans, of course.
Yeah, because a dwarf here seems a bit weird, so close to the crystal cave. It seems to me like maybe who's looking for it.
So he sent the other guy back to the dry oasis to start a better life.
Yes. And the last time that I came across the crystal cave was because of a dwarf complaining about losing his miners.
Perhaps it's the same dwarf.
That's what I thought. Although Chris said they don't look alike.
It could be the dwarf from the ultimate timeline that somehow made his way here.
Maybe he is a beer dwarf. Maybe it's one of the Steinhammers.
Yeah, I can't even find that door.
Here's this one, wasn't
Yeah.
Oh, right, this guy. Right.
it? Yeah, you said it was a
Okay.
dwarf.
Yeah, it is. He's lost a lot of hair.
Just turns out to be a
Okay.
very short old man.
So that's right. Mistress of the Sands, Euterpe, has mentioned. Yes, this dwarf came in rambling. He seemed a bit crazed. Seemed like a threat, however.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you said-
unfortunately,
All crazy people are dangerous.
Vohu petrified him before you could make more of a racket. But if you wish to unpetrify him, by all means.
I mean,
Just
we grished up the
It's
diamond now.
you that needs to do it for us, please and thank you.
oh,
Go ahead. Oh, no, don't leave.
Yes, I'm just gonna go for a jolly walk.
well, I will warn you, he may still be insane, but
Aren't we all?
if you wish, as you desire, I guess Kashan and Karis are with you. They'll get ready in case anything goes down. All right. So once again, she begins strumming her. No, wait, not strumming. Playing her flute. And after a brief moment or two, she flings the diamond dust into the air. And it sprinkles down atop the petrified form. And you begin to see the dwarf coming back to reality, his skin turning into a kind of a almost grayish skin tone. It still looks like skin, but maybe some after effects of the petrification. Or maybe he's just a grayer dwarf than others.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
Mm.
No?
Don't
It
you
is
announce
really
as
good
he
here.
comes back? His eyes are kind of a bit bloodshot, and as his blinking resumes, coming down to his face, his beard, kind of this white, tattered-looking thing. He's quite a muscular-looking form, but you can see scars and bruises over his arms. And suddenly, his blinking becomes more erratic as his form fully becomes unpetrified, and he looks around like like panicked.
Calm down. We've just saved your life. What's your name?
Who are you? Where am I?
No, we asked that first.
No. I must escape. I must escape this
I'm
maze.
literally gonna kind of come forward, slowly, and I'm just gonna check something really quickly. Yeah. And I am going to address him in Dwarvish. And I'm literally gonna crouch down and I'm gonna address him almost like one would a child, and just being like, all right, calm down. We're not your enemies. There's nothing to fear. The basilisk is dead.
Where's my hammer? He's like looking around on the floor as if he had something with him. Oh yes, we had to confiscate that. You looked a bit like you were an attacker in my own lair.
Wait, you stripped him and then turned him to what?
No, you can see now his hand where his like hammer has been ripped away is actually bleeding.
Oh no.
Oh,
They chiseled it out of his hand.
I thought you
No,
said
no.
armor.
No, his armor. God, no, his hammer. My hammer. Where is it?
Okay. No, we need to fix that first.
Don't feel safe without me hammer.
Can we? the hand?
Yeah, you just look at his hand. Though he's bleeding from his hand, he doesn't seem to care that much. Like, he's probably suffered a number of different wounds, and some of the wounds do look fresher than others. And he says, if we give you a weapon, can you just promise us you're not going to use it against us? Well, that depends. Are you prisoners down in the maze? Or are you here to trap me, like the rest of them?
No,
Pick us off one by one.
we're free to go. I mean, so will you after we've spoke to you.
Yeah, like third option. But can we sort the bleeding first? You're losing a lot of blood.
Arius?
Carrier says, yeah, sure. And he's about to approach him and cast some sort of healing magic. And he seems to be very distrustful, backs away slightly, and now just notices his hand. Says, "'Tis nothing compared to the traumas I suffered in that place."
It's a
Deeper
fresh
pool.
wound.
Success.
Okay, that's fine. But if we don't stop that bleeding, you are going to die, and that makes saving you pointless.
Okay, you can roll a persuasion check. Oh.
15.
He's in what? Magic?
I mean, I can use bandages if you really want, or I could cauterize it with fire, but that seems a bit much.
I mean, how manly do you want it to be?
That's true. Scars are quite manly.
Yeah. She's
He
pretty
goes,
good. She's pretty good with hands.
Fire.
What's up,
Fire's no good down here, lass. I'll take the bandages.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to do it, or can you manage with one hand?
He says, I'd prefer to do it myself. I'll manage.
I will just hand him a roll of bandages.
He's going to make a quick medicine check briefly. Hopefully during that time he calms
Can
down
I
a bit.
mage hand to assist him?
Yeah, you could do, although...
If he allows it, obviously. If he doesn't allow it, then I won't, but... It just means I can help from a distance.
So.
Yep, at first he freaks out. And he says, yeah. He sort of like blinks and like shakes his head as if he's under some sort of effect. And then when he realizes there's an actual physical touch to it and it's helping him, he stops in his like franticness and says, apologies.
Okay.
Thought I'd seen another one of those hallucinations.
Well, you hallucinated?
He flexes his fingers for a moment. Aye, that'll do. I'm better.
This guy's made of serious stuff.
You have to be to survive down here.
You keep saying down here, but we're not really underground.
Where do you think we are?
He like begins tapping on the walls. We're underground. Don't play tricks with me.
I mean, we are, but we're not that far underground. Where do you think we are?
We're in the dry oasis. We're in the dry oasis desert. There's a temple here. Temple thing.
Oh. No. You
Yes.
must have been. You must be confused.
No, you got
No.
you literally went a bit stark raving mad from the heat of the desert. We think maybe you wandered out from the mountain.
Desert. He seems to have like a moment of recognition. Hey, what I'd give to be back on that blasted desert, the damnable as it is. What I'd give to see the sun again. Even though, and that's something coming from a dwarf, let me tell you.
It's literally about 50 feet above us.
It's really not that far away. We could take you out.
Yeah.
The sunshine.
You're playing tricks with me.
No.
He seems to like gesture towards you, but
Is there no way you will trust us?
you go first.
All right.
Huh? Fine.
Seriously, where do you think you are? What
I
maze?
told you, we're in the maze.
The
Okay, but there's more than one maze in this world.
this way.
You have to be a
The,
bit more
s-
specific.
All right. Well, let me through. It's no longer here.
the maze of mazes. The maze of the earth.
The labyrinth.
So maze of mazes. So it's a maze made of maize corn, is what I'm picturing.
It's a
I
maze
just think
made
this
up of
guy's
many
lost it.
mazes.
Money mazes. Like gold.
Many. Oh,
Oh.
where to go? Where to Morgan? I have my hammer with me. He does follow you, Llewellyn, cautiously, and he's checking around every single corner. He does something else as well. um, he lights these set of candles on his belt, and he like lights one up, and he chucks it around the corner before he goes in to the next room. And the candle's still burning. Doesn't seem to do anything. And then he kind of gives a nod, comes in, picks up the candle, blows out the flame, goes into the next room. And what else does he do? He also steps on the first tile of every room, like checks its like stability. He pushes down with his foot, and then kind of taps around some of the walls to see what's hollow, what's real. In fact, you can see he's brushing his hand, much like you did, Lavella, when you first entered. He brushes his hand against all the walls as if to make sure that they're real.
Yeah. Don't worry. There's no more hidden rooms. We found them all.
I think this guy's just lost it.
You'll never find them all. It's endless. But he finally starts to see sunlight, and he's like, "No, can it
Yeah.
be? No, another illusion, surely."
No.
And he suddenly feels the warmth, and he starts to become perhaps a little bit more dazed and sort of lets his guard down for a moment.
Welcome to the Cloud Coast.
And when he finally comes out to the very top, and the sun blinds his eyes, and you can tell it's blinding him because he like stumbles a bit forwards as he's walking, but he knows he's outside. He can feel the sunlight, and all of the kind of paranoia and the franticness sort of wears away, and he just falls onto his knees. If this is a dream, I hope it doesn't end. Ah, water. That
That
water
was
I can hear. And he
Yeah.
That
seems
was
to like hear it before he can see it, and he starts rushing or scrambling towards it like on all fours.
we do have water with us.
Uh, he just rushes over to the pool and just begins slurping it. I haven't seen water in days.
Yesterday is how long has he actually been thrown?
What year do you think it is?
Well, he slurps and like water's dribbling down his white beard and turns and says, "This year, ah, ah, ah." He starts to think carefully and recalling back. Um, he effectively says like he effectively says something near enough like, ooh, let's say 50 years prior to what you are.
So technically, you haven't seen water in about 50 years.
That that can't be.
Afraid it is.
I wouldn't live without. No,
In
no.
theory, but you were turned to stone by a basilisk, so you've kind of been preserved up
The,
until the point that we let you go. Like,
the,
freed you.
the bad news is anyone you know is probably old now.
All dead.
Llewellyn, would you not start conversations with people like this that way?
Wolves.
Like, the last thing these people want to hear is that their loved ones are old or dead.
Uh,
Wiser?
I doubt they'd have died of old age anyway.
You said you were in a maze, and obviously you've somehow made your way here, which means at some point or another, you must have come from somewhere, and you say it's a maze underground. We're looking for a place that sounds very similar to where you've come from. Is it by chance the Crystal Caves?
Aye. The promise of crystals. The promise of gems. It was all too enticing.
Right,
But
so
we
Llewellyn,
only
he is
found
part
death. We
part
only...
of this tribe of miners that you came across before then.
Maybe not the same ones.
He's here. Ask him.
We
Yeah.
found only madness in those tunnels.
Yes, we've established that you're mad.
So where
The
do you...
maze.
Okay.
Go on, Oliver.
Where do you come from?
Look at me. I'm a dwarf.
Yeah, I get that, but like Veldrador?
Ah,
No?
ugh. He spits onto the ground.
The other one that I've forgotten the name of? Oops. Dre, what was it? Dremor or...
Let me just quickly...
I
find
mean,
it
my
for you.
sister comes from a place called Underwing.
Underwing.
Underwing. Sounds familiar. But
It does.
But nay. The Underdark is more along the right lines.
Yeah.
Ye-
Remember, Veldrador is the one that's out in the sun, and the other one is the dwarves that dug deep underground.
Yeah, Underwing is the name of the village where Porky was raised.
Oh.
It's elsewhere.
Oh. Interesting.
I too am struggling to find the map.
It's on the map. Why is the map not pinned?
That's what I'm wondering as well. I'm like, where has my map gone? I can find it pretty quick.
Eunice blew that away too.
Okay, I got it. I got it on my phone. He says, Dalduin.
Dalduin, that's it.
Aye. But, that was a long time ago. We were explorers, I was. Me and my crew. We thought we'd, seek out some, uncharted minds.
Civilizations.
Well, civilization had got, a little bit cold. Let's see.
So you've been here 50 years, not that you know, but how long were you in the maze?
We were in there for days. Like I said, starving, getting lost, attacked by creatures I can't even begin to comprehend or describe. Nothing like I've seen in the Underdark.
You were only in there for days. Okay. If the cave only appears every solstice, which is what, every 6 months, is it? Every 3 months, or?
No, it'd be like yearly, effectively.
Oh, so
But its position, its opening depends on another like factor.
because I'm wondering, like, if they were only in their days and the positioning changed,
Mm-hmm.
then they were 3 days is a whole solstice. at least.
The easiest solution, right? We know that the opening is going to appear soon. Can we not just send him in the right direction and he'll end up back there?
But
He could get lost in there again. Or die.
ain't going back. Talking about
Oh, I thought you wanted to find your friends. Okay, never mind.
my friends are dead, probably. And even if they weren't, it's helpless going back for them.
Well, we're going to be going there anyway. Would you like to give us the names of your friends? Maybe we can send them your way if we come across them.
Yeah. You're the mad ones. You want to go in there after what I've just told you.
Yeah, we pretty much are.
Yeah, we're pretty mad.
Fine. Have it your way. Yes. Grandor Bone Mantle. Aaron Rockdrum. And if he's well, you won't find him alive, but Brandak Grimspite, you probably you might find a body broken, collapsed at the bottom of a long mine shaft.
Huh.
And my name.
I've got Gramdor Brome Mantle twice, and then Brandrak Grimspite. I don't have the second one.
The second one, not bad. Copied it twice. Well, he's gone as well.
Is that
Eaten alive by one of those creatures. It's like the earth just grew a mouth, a terrible maw of diamond-like teeth. Rended him, pulled him in.
so there
And we're
is
tough dwarfs, but the rock was tougher, crushed and ground his bones.
so there is diamonds. Is that what you
Raises
said?
an eyebrow to you, Llewellyn. Says, maybe so. I never doubted there was, but they gotta be deeper in. We only got to several layers deep, and when I was the only one left, I turned back. Tried to work my way, but the tunnels had changed. Found a new way, and I don't know, by some luck, found my way back, just as the tunnel was collapsing.
Can I ask you a question? In all seriousness, I'm going to kind of look at Kashan and then look back to the door. I don't
Don't
suppose
interrupt my story.
you, by chance, in your journey through the mines, came across another traveler.
Oh, aye, many
Okay.
travelers.
I'm gonna pull out.
Yeah, go on.
I'm gonna pull out my mother's like medallion, the one that's got the symbol of the frozen flame on it, and I'm gonna hold it out. Us. Like, do you recognize this symbol from any of them?
You sit here, and he has a closer look as he snatches it with his grubby hands. He's like, yeah, yeah, And you see he's again scratching his head as he does this, and there's a massive bruise and like a dried blood trickling down from his head, and memory's a bit foggy. When the tunnel was collapsing on the way out, my head got hit by a rock. I think thought I was gonna be crushed underneath. It turns out I must have made it after all. And you see the Euterpe says, that's probably why my troglodytes found you. Heard the landslide and found your body baking in the desert. Dragged you back here, and That's when you came back to consciousness and started raving and ranting. But anyway, he says, maybe I've seen it, maybe I haven't. I can tell you there's lots of folk down there, though. On the first layer, you'll encounter slaves and slave drivers. The likes who have been taken under control by the Tao.
Wait, you said like slaves and slave drivers.
Aye.
And then I'm just gonna sort of turn to the group. We saw all those troglodytes and those other things that seem to be underneath the inn with the demon cats. That for some reason didn't try to fight us, but they seemed to be workers, and they were digging.
Demons, eh?
I say demon cats in the loosest sense. They were quite vicious.
Is there any fecal smelling humanoids down there? Or monsters?
Troglodytes are the least of my worries.
Oh, he knows about troglodytes. Alright.
Of course I do. They're an infestation.
So they are down there.
But you'll find things far worse down there. Troglodytes as prisoners, maybe. But no more than that.
No, I don't think it was the troglodytes that were the prisoners.
Oh?
I can't remember what the other things were.
Are you talking about the giant demon thing and the one and the weird like summoned creatures that came towards you like zombies?
Yeah. It's a demon thing.
It was the things that were digging underneath the inn.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They didn't seem to fight us, and I was kind of like, nah, this feels wrong. This is off. What the heck is happening here?
Yeah.
He says it's possible demons can find their way into the maze. It seems to link to other places. Endless corridors and traps. Some of them lead to entrances, but not to anywhere nice.
Yeah, but my point is, these things were underneath the dry oasis digging tunnels. And you said they're in the first layer.
There's all kinds of folk in the first layer.
Yeah, but that means that there's a potential entryway underneath the dry oasis?
He
Or at least
shrugs.
they were trying to dig a tunnel to it. We did establish that the cave landed on a, what do you call it? Equator?
Yeah, it
Or
does.
something like that?
Yeah.
Does the dry oasis land anywhere near that?
Not on the equator, no, because that's further south. The equator is something that kind of like wraps around.
It's not far off.
No.
Few amount of miles.
No. It seems like a weird coincidence to me.
Maybe they were trying to dig towards it.
Maybe. Suppose it's a safer way for them to do it without having to be exposed to the desert sun, but seems quite a distance to dig.
What about Ladova? Have you heard of that? Famous traveller?
That's
Shakes his
literally
head.
who I was asking about before.
Oh,
He's never heard.
But I don't
doesn't-
think Irina knows his name.
No, I don't think you do.
Deshaun has spoken about like following the teachings, but I don't think he mentioned his name.
On expanding on that, he explains anything valuable would have been stripped away from the slaves before they're put in chains. So if they did have something like an emblem or a tabard or a trinket, it would have been snatched by the Tao.
Well, I think this guy escaped, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to make the scrolls, right?
yeah, and he wouldn't have been able to come back with the.
So he wouldn't have been a slave, per se.
Yeah.
Yeah. I avoided them. Nothing but trouble if you start intermingling with slaves there that beg for your freedom and help, then alert the guards, and then you get put in chains as well. My advice is leave them to their fate.
Well, anyway,
Now, navigating the first layers, they're pretty safe though. Otherwise, they wouldn't have people working in it.
good to know.
But there's still the threat of landslides, collapses, geothermic gases. Anyways, the deeper you go, the more dangerous it'll become.
Well, we're fine on the gases. I have an idea for any sort of collapses.
And how are you for seeing in pitch dark?
Absolutely fine.
Nope.
But that's fine, because you can just hold on to me.
Not too bad.
Why do we keep having to go into places where I cannot see?
Because you're human and human eyesight is pretty damn poor.
And as I said before, you can't be using fire. Can't be relying on it.
I'm not relying on fire. My eyesight is just very good.
Alright. So was mine.
Okay, good for you.
But in total
What do you want, a
darkness.
cookie?
In total darkness, it's a different story. Alright.
Ah, total darkness.
Okay.
He obviously has no idea about your shadowy background, but
I literally just laugh. I'm just like, okay, whatever, buddy.
you think down there's some kind of romp through a mine. It
No,
ain't-
no, I don't.
It's death and madness.
As
all
evidenced
you'll
by the
find.
state of you.
He grits his
Right.
like chipped teeth.
Before this gets
I
into
hope you like eating rubble for breakfast. And I hope you like scrambling for your life at night. Because that's what you'll be doing down there.
before this gets into a confrontation between Irene and this guy who,
Confrontation, I'm just saying.
well, he seems like he's ready for a fight.
The dude is batshit crazy.
He is. We're going to be heading to Guidia soon. Do you need a lift?
He looks around.
Capital City.
Considering I have no idea where the bloody hell I am. Yes, I'll take a lift as far as civilization.
I'm gonna
Wait.
pull out the map of
Yeah,
Midra and
'cause
lay
there's-
it out for him to take a look at. Do you recognize anything?
Oh, Midra.
Of Midra, yeah. He points out Balduin. He goes, that is my home, or at least it used to be.
It probably still
Okay.
is.
Okay.
But in terms of Claude Coast, there's the Dry Oasis, or there's the capital of Guidia.
Well, I mean, if we take him to Gaidia, we can probably send him on a boat.
That's true.
I mean, Carius's family do a lot of trade. We could potentially get him on a trade route back towards the mainland.
Yeah, that's possible. Well,
He doesn't have a visa, of course, so getting into the city will be tough.
But we
Well,
don't need to
he'll
take
have
him
to,
into
like-
the city. We just need to, obviously, as we go past Gaidia, get him on a caravan back to Carius's family so he can get into the port and get on a boat.
unless we send him with Chad and hit on his boat.
You say Chad?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. You know Chad
say,
Bard,
Oh,
long hair, thinks a lot of himself.
oh, I've heard of him.
You ever met him?
No, but I've heard tales of his adventures in the Underdark.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah, he's not exactly a friend.
Okay,
But I
maybe
know
we don't
he's...
sit in with Chad then.
Well, I know he's got money and power. Hmm.
You want to really annoy him? Just mention that Andy here is a better bard than he'll ever be.
It's true.
That'll really get on his skin.
He might be able to help me more. I don't like traveling by a boat. And I know he can do things. Magical, powerful things, you know. If I can buy some transport through magic, that'll be easier.
Buy? How are you going to buy your
I'll figure it out when I get there.
I mean, the guy was stuck in a mine. I think he's probably okay.
Now, I'll ask again. Where's my warhammer? She says, oh, one of the troglodytes probably made off with it, but
Can you wield it with weapon?
I do what I have to do to survive. I just need a weapon, anything. A boulder will do if I have to fight for my life.
weapon?
I know! I'm gonna run back through. Go find Mansor's greatsword and bring that back.
Oh my god.
Perfect.
That's a wee big, but
You said anything!
alright, beggars can't be choosers. Gives it here. And yeah, he tried to lift the weight of it. It is mad big for him, but
Wait,
sure.
you said
got it.
you said you wielded a warhammer, not a bloody
Yeah, a
carpentry
dwarf-sized
hammer.
warhammer.
So a carpentry hammer.
What did you just say? You insulting our lineage.
Ignore Lavelle, he's really bad at jokes. The guy plays bagpipes.
Wait, you do?
I do.
Mhm. Oh no, play the song of my people.
You mind if you play a little toot?
But yeah, that weapon you've got there is more befitting of a true dwarf.
It's fine. I'll wield it when I can wield it when I need to wield it.
Is this actually? I've actually been asked to play the bagpipes.
Do it.
Sure. Hey!
Oh my god. It brings him to tears of joy. Oh, my people's song, my people's music. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, laddie. You know what? You're not so bad after all. Here, take this. And he reaches into one of his pockets where you got these candles, and he pulls out what looks like a small little gemstone, and he has to scrape some of the wax off that's like melted onto it, and he passes it to you.
Oh my god.
Goes, take it. That's such a beautiful song.
BFFs.
Oh.
Been so long, I didn't think I'd hear that again. That tune, that music. That you made crawling through dirt and eating rocks for breakfast worth it. Now,
We need to give him some real food. I feel bad that he's been eating rocks.
yeah, practically. As he's like trying to like heft the sword, as you guys like packing up or whatever. As he's like lifting it up, you see his form suddenly like bulges and enlarges, and his muscles sort of like pump up, and yeah, he suddenly like grows to the full height of what a normal human would be, and some.
That's cool.
And yeah, you see he's like cracking his bones. He says, "Just having a wee stretch." His voice is like audibly deeper as well. Couldn't do that in the cramped conditions, but that's all better.
Whatever he's got is helping him use the enlarge spell.
No, this comes naturally. And you notice he didn't cast a spell. He didn't speak an incantation or do any hand waving. He just simply like bulged out, hinged out. And now the sword is actually a perfect fit for him. In fact, it looks disproportionate to Captain Mansour, but it looks like totally fitting in his hands.
Okay,
Right.
that's pretty cool.
But then, when you use that ability with your Warhammer, the Warhammer would be tiny compared to you.
No, it enlarges
magical...
with me.
Oh.
Aye.
And you see, magical weapons tend to change.
Wait, no, wouldn't that weapon enlarge with you?
I put it on the floor first, then picked it up. You just weren't paying attention. Now, let's get to this,
yeah.
was it Oasis, you call it?
Yeah, the Dry Oasis.
Oh, in that case, I'm filling up my canteen first. And yeah, he just fills up his waterskin and readies himself.
Cool.
All right. And anything else you'd like to do here before you set off? I drag you back to the Dry Oasis.
I think I'm gonna just go and collect the rest of Mansour's thing, just so I can almost like return them to whoever and be like, okay, yeah, he's fallen in battle. He got taken over.
But what we doing with Harfia? He wasn't mind controlled.
Oh yeah, we needed to go and talk to Harpo. But I think Carius wanted to do that as well. So we may have to
bring him with us
that when James is back.
Yeah, maybe we bring him with us while he's tied up.
Can do if you want. Oh, he would be conscious about now, by the way.
Alright, well, I imagine Andy probably wants to talk to him, so...
Yeah.
Maybe we should just mosey down there.
Okay, that's a good call.
Ask his questions later.
Do that now, actually. It's something we put off for a while last session. And I feel like you guys probably want to do that.
I mean, I have nothing to really say to him.
No, I'm sure you don't. But...
So.
I do, the treacherous dirtbag.
Okay. Drag you onto that layer. Alright. So. You head back down into the dungeon and the actual jail cell where you had him before. There you go. Yeah, there's a load of locked up people. Most of them are conscious now.
Yeah.
You've helped out freeing some of the others who were just like imprisoned, but not actually under the effects of the GS.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're probably gonna release everyone now, even if they were under a GS.
Well, she said the GS is no longer in effect now, right?
No, it's still under the effect. But we said we were gonna leave
several who are
bandits.
Yeah, which means she comes down. In fact, let's see.
Yeah, we're gonna leave her to control the bandits because.
Okay. She steps forward and begins identifying which ones are which. And she keeps this guy in, Mayaz. And she keeps her in, which is Guess's Eye. And she's gonna leave Harther in there as well.
Yeah, because she can use the bandits after all this is over with to help protect the dry oasis.
Yeah. Oh, and she leaves one of the guards in there as well. And says he's one of the corrupt guards.
That makes sense.
Okay. Go ahead if you want to talk to Harther. You see he's kind of like still very badly injured, by the way. He didn't get any rest. He's just come out of unconsciousness.
But he wasn't affected by the gas, was he? When we checked.
It's strange. I thought you were under my spell, Arthur, but you played a very clever ruse. And that's when he kind of speaks up and says, that was the plan. I was trying to help you guys. You are... Jump to the conclusions. You shot fire first and asked questions later. I didn't get a chance to tell you that I was on your side. Oh well, looks like you managed to you managed fine without me anyway.
Where did you disappear off to?
Disappear? I got captured by the wondrous mistress of the sands. What, are you working with her now? Is that what's happening here?
Okay, for starters, as the villain pointed out, you attacked first, not us. Also,
yes, but I didn't hit you. I deliberately missed.
You disappeared when we went to the Hotch Dancer.
Yes, true.
At night, when you knew there was a curfew.
That part wasn't planned.
Where did you go?
Like I said, I got jumped by the ever-present mind-controlled individuals. It seems they spread faster than I had anticipated, and I got captured.
Yet you were not brainwashed and could have escaped. And later on, you turned up at the tower trying to break in when Andy was by herself.
That was me back then. That was actually me. That is before I got captured.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to warn you of something terrible, but I guess didn't trust me then. Almost like you never trusted me.
No, you're right. I didn't. You're sketchy as hell.
What's that
What, you
supposed
think
to
you
mean?
can just turn around and say you're related to Smolder and we're going to believe you, even though we don't know you?
Roll an insight, Irina.
Not my forte. 14.
Okay. Yeah, there is something a bit odd about him, but he does seem to raise an eyebrow and give a slight smirk. I like a half smirk when you mention that. Look, I know this is strange, but this place is... I didn't know who to trust either. So many people are on the inside working for her, but I didn't know if I could totally commit to joining you or not.
Alright, so tell us the truth now.
The truth?
No.
About what? In particular?
Everything. Like, what you're doing in the Dry Oasis. Are you really related to Smolder?
Why do you have doubts about that?
How you recognized Andy even though she was in disguise.
You are very astute. You're a spellcaster as well, I would assume. So you have some knowledge of certain spells.
I know my friends. And I know Smolder didn't like her family.
Huh. Tell me, if I tell you the truth, are you going to let me free, or...
That depends.
Roll a persuasion check, Irina.
That is a nat 1.
Hmm.
It's an 11, but it's a nat 1.
Okay. Alright. He says... "Hmm. Well, that's no guarantee. I want to know... In fact, how about this? I'm already unarmed. I'm badly injured. You can easily let me out here. I'm no threat to you and yours. Let me out. I'll get me back to the dry oasis, and I'll explain everything.
No, you explain here and now, and then I will let you out. If there's any funny business, we will not hesitate.
What I see in front of me is very funny. You're literally standing side by side with the Mistress of the Sands. For all I know, you could all be under her spell.
No, and she's not the evil one here.
Nor am I. Why are you thinking I'm evil?
Because you're not telling us the truth, and you've just admitted that you weren't telling us the whole truth.
To protect myself.
Okay.
So, like I mentioned, I don't know who is under this spell or who is not.
I start ushering everyone out who is not our party members.
Okay, cool.
Look, I have no problem with just leaving you here, to be honest.
Can't do that. You'll starve to death down here.
Okay, so talk. Your choice. I'm the one with the keys. If I leave, you're screwed.
Okay, eventually all of the non-party members have left, and they're probably all, I'm just going to say they're all like ready and waiting outside the actual dungeon itself.
I do apologize. Yeah, I do apologize to her ushering her out of her own.
As you're ushering her out, she does say, "He is very cunning, this one. Not even I realized he was not under my spell. He's quite the silver tongue, that's all I'll say.
Yeah.
He's cunning enough to deceive me. He's clearly cunning enough to deceive you."
I have an idea.
And she does leave, and it's just the 4 people who are caged and the party. Okay. Go ahead. Levelin, what's your idea?
Well, I was thinking of trying out my new spell again.
Okay.
And basically convincing him what happened is we walked in and managed to convince him that we are completely on his side and he is willing to tell, because we've convinced him that he's willing to tell us everything that we want to know. We've managed to convince him that he trusts us wholly.
Okay. How are you achieving it?
With Modify Memory.
With Modify Memory, okay. Alright, there's a Wisdom save, I assume?
I believe so. Yeah, Wisdom.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. Because he's not telling us anything, and that natural one. Oh no.
Yeah, he's keeping tight-lipped. Alright, Wisdom save.
To be fair, Irina legitimately wouldn't care if she left his hair in
I rolled
the cell.
pretty bad.
No, probably not enough, I think.
No, it's not. So you're able to modify his memory, and you're trying to get him to believe that you guys are.
Like
Yeah,
we've
what part of the memory are you trying to modify? You could even modify the last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Try again.
that's what I'm saying. Pretty much, we've come in on our own,
Yeah.
and we're gonna rescue him, but we need to know any information to let him out. Otherwise, we're not sure whether we can trust him because of the whole spell
Okay.
control, and that
So
that for us to trust him, he has to tell us what we want to know. Wholly, completely truth.
so
And we've
in
managed.
his head, the last 5 minutes just didn't happen, and you guys have just entered the room as almost his freers. And he's like, "Ah, you guys, have you dealt with the mistress yet?"
Well, no, I can modify up to 10 minutes. So the idea
Yeah.
is we've come in, we've already had a conversation with him, and
Okay.
we've convinced him that he's willing to tell us everything that we want to know.
That part, I will say, you can't modify his you can only modify his memories. You can't modify his outlook on what's about to happen. That'll just basically be a reroll of trying to persuade him. So
I
it's
guess.
better if we do like a redo and just pretend he doesn't know what's going on. Like he doesn't have any idea. The last 5 minutes, he's just seen you guys come in, and
Okay. Well, we know
he
he's
just
sketchy as heck. Arthur, oh my god, there you are. We've been looking everywhere for you. We're so glad you're all right.
sorry about earlier. I'm not really under their spell.
I know I misfired. I'm so sorry. Are you all right?
I'm fine. I just took a bite. Actually, Caris, what was that? You nearly zapped me to death. He's like,
It's
oh
new.
yeah,
He
sorry.
doesn't have control of it yet.
Ugh, I didn't get a chance to warn you. I going to tell you that I deceived the mistress. Not really under her spell, but are you going to get me out of here?
How did you manage that? No one can evade that. Even we suffered from it.
Wait.
Mind manipulation is something I'm akin to. It's
But what if he's so manipulated that this is just a manipulation right now?
Of course
You,
it is.
maybe
what?
we need to be able to trust you. You need to answer some of our questions. We'll know if they're a lie, and then we'll know you're manipulated by Sandy,
Uh,
unless you tell us the truth.
think I'm
He's
following.
stupid, Lavellen. Of course we can trust him.
Are you sure?
He's our friend.
But
Look,
what if
I have.
there could be
I
layers
am a
to it?
spellcaster. I have magic. I prepared myself before they cast the spell on me.
How
Okay.
did you end up down here? I mean, we figured you'd been kidnapped like the others, but I thought you were maybe smarter than that.
I don't remember. Oh, Carius zapped me, and that's the last thing I remember.
You don't remember anything before that?
Hmm.
When you went missing at the Parched Dancer,
Right, yes.
we tried to find you and you weren't anywhere.
Apologies. I was trying to get to you, trying to tell you what was
But
going
you were
on.
already with us. You vanished. You went off and, like, we couldn't find you and no one had seen you. We were all really worried about you. Sorry.
You sound so insincere. Yeah, roll a deception check, Irina. He's just gonna roll an insight check.
Deception.
Yeah, a deception.
I mean, we are all, well, I guess it's just me and Irene and Andy at the moment, but we're all in on this as well, so surely that's
Like,
help.
hold on. Something's not right here.
Surely we're aiding in this.
I need to recover. My belongings. Do you have the First of all, can you let me out of this cave? And secondly,
Oh.
could you...
Oh, we need to find the keys first.
Yeah.
He looks around and notices that certain cages are unlocked and others aren't. Or at least maybe he has an inkling. Well, this door is open. The one that he like points to the far end.
That's a different key.
There's a jailer. He has the
Yeah.
keys.
Yeah, we need to find the rest of his corpse. Carius kind of blew him up, if you remember.
Yeah. He's a bit in pieces. Look, I have some of them here. And I hold up
The
like...
villain, he's already injured. He doesn't need to see that.
I just need my arcane focus. That's his all.
What does it look
What does
like?
it look like?
It is.
Anyway.
It is my weapon. It is like a glaive. No, it's hold on. Actually, I think he had a scimitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we pick that up or did we leave it?
Yeah, you would have taken. He said you took all his belongings.
All right. Well, I'll go look for it then. I guess you'll have to stick around and chat while I go find it, and I guess I'll leave
Sure.
and look for the.
Yeah. His demeanor has suddenly changed after like he's seen through Irina's lies, basically. But he's not. He just needs his arcane focus. That's what he's saying. All right. What do you do, Levan? Are you actually going to go grab it and bring it back?
Andy has it.
No, I was just
all his things.
I was just going. I was just going looking for it.
Okay then. So I'll just wait here until he finds it.
I'm afraid you're gonna have to.
Mm-hmm. Tell me, have you met Euterpe yet? Or the mistress of the sands, he says? Doesn't actually know her name.
Yeah, kind of blew up her basilisk. Kind of, yes.
Uh-huh. She didn't get to cast her spell on you, did she?
Well, she kind of did, but Andy had already accidentally cast the same thing on me, so I was kind of immune to it at the time.
That is odd. Kind of did,
Yeah,
kind
you're
of
telling
didn't.
me.
All the more reason I need my arcane focus. I think Fishy is here.
If anyone can find it, Llewellyn can. He's got pretty good searching skills.
Until then, I'm afraid to say that I cannot trust any of you. You might have been under her spell. You must understand.
So could you, so, you know.
That is true. But is she dealt with?
Who?
The mistress.
Oh, right, yeah, that, yeah.
She lives or is she dead?
I mean, the thing controlling her is gone.
I see. He seems to be just content to just sit back. It's like, well, tell me when you found the arcane focus, I guess.
Sure.
I guess at some point within, like, say, 10 minutes or so, I come in with more tinkally parts, just like, is this it? Or that? And I start chucking pieces.
No. Something fishy is going on here.
You mean Scorpion?
If you killed the jailer and already dealt with the mistress, then you must have my stuff.
I mean, to be fair, there were also these little gold coins that apparently came out of nowhere and just steal things.
Ah, yes.
You've seen them? I thought Llewellyn was bullshitting.
I've seen the coins move, but I didn't engage with them. Seems the rest of the denizens here knew how to avoid them.
I go walking back out for the thing, and I send I send that reader another message like, "Do we need another reader?"
Depends what you're trying to get from him. At this point, he doesn't believe you or trust you. And he's saying he needs his arcane focus in order to, no.
You're
He's
right,
really-
Arthur. You seem really off. Like, I
I
get that
don't-
you're injured and in a cage, but, like, you don't seem your usual self.
No, I don't. Well, you can run another insight check, Arena.
10.
And yeah, other than what you've already just said, there is something off about him. Seems kind of closed off. Perhaps if you were in a cage near death
Just wondering if,
without
obviously
candlewick.
Llewellyn sent a message. Can I respond or not?
Yeah.
I
You
can't
can,
remember if
yeah.
message can do that. I'm literally just gonna say to Llewellyn, okay, be ready. If he bolts, I'm gonna let him out.
I sent him a message back like, ready to do what?
As I said, in case he tries to bolt, you're in the corridor. Like,
Oh.
he might try and run out to try and find his arcane focus.
Okay.
Ugh.
So... Alright, okay. Llewellyn's taking a while, so let's see if we can unlock this.
Have my deepest gratitude, thank you.
Sean, do you
Um,
want to give it a go?
Oh, wait. I think you've got the keys.
No. Like, we're pretending I don't have the keys.
Alright, sure. Ishan comes over and gives it a
Lockpicks.
try with his lockpicks. Wherever they may be on his sheet. Oh, there they are. Use these tools. Use deck.
Hey.
Yeah, easy. Alright, he busts it open. There you are. And Arthur's like, thank you very much. Now, I'm very battered and bruised, so if we get into a fight, I won't be of much help.
Sure. But let's get out of here.
Please, yes.
I'm gonna make sure that I walk in front of him.
Sure.
Um,
And I'll walk behind then, I guess.
Sorry, what was that?
I'll walk a couple of paces behind.
probably
Okay,
stick with
behind him.
Darius, I think.
Sure.
Or-
Well,
He does,
she's got
like,
ranged
brief-
weapons. If he does bolt, she can shoot an arrow at him.
yeah.
He does briefly turn, like looks behind, and he can tell something's off. Even though his
Alright.
memory's been wiped, something is off.
Alright, Llewellyn, we opened the cage. We're gonna get out of here.
Alright. Well, I was going to say, as you come around the corner, you see me digging around in the Tin Cali body with my staff.
Ew.
Like, where could,
Llewellyn,
I'm looking for the arcane focus.
I don't think it's gonna be in there.
Up there. Ugh. Where could
You
it
can make
be?
another one though, right? Like if worse
Yes.
came to worse.
Of
Hey.
course.
Why does he keep trying to get ahead of us?
Oh, he's
Well,
looking
It's
around.
just because I'm not moving the token.
How dare he?
Anyway, he does look around for a bit, and he checks down that corridor, the one Kashan and Carius went down. You get everything from down here? There was a great amount of treasure.
Yeah, now there's just sand. Lots
Huh.
of sand.
He does look down it. Of course, the door's still open. It's piles of sand. But he does notice something shiny, and he's like, oh, hold on a second.
Oh wait, don't touch
Um,
that!
Well,
As it comes to life, I'm guessing.
no, he picks it up. It's one of the lifeless coins.
Oh.
And the coin. It'll do.
Wait,
Alright. Let's move. And yeah, the rest of you guys can easily leave the dungeon at this point as a full entourage. If you're letting Mistress of the Sands know what's up, he can easily use a disguise stealth spell.
Yeah, I can just send a message. Just
Sure.
let her know that,
But you're going to be tricking him this whole time?
yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright. Cool. All right, so let's get you back to the dry oasis. And...
I'm just gonna, like, on our way. Like, obviously, I know Harthair is suspicious, but I'm still gonna try and get whatever information. But I'm gonna try and go down an unrelated route and just sort of. Let me ask you a question. We found these urns when we were looking around the ruins. They were in a room that didn't have any doors and stuff. And it depicted a type of history that's not in, like, the Sultan's memoir thing. And I don't mean to be rude, but you look like an older gentleman. I don't know how much history you remember. But I'm just wondering if you knew anything about different history?
You're asking Harthair this, yeah?
Yeah. Like, he's a fire
About
ganassi,
the-
so I don't know whether his history lessons are different.
The history is almost... Some of it is buried beneath the sands, and others shine like jewels in the sun. It is a very common trope, but they say that history is written by the victors. And I believe the idea is that victor, they have told their great tale of victory, of glory. As for the true tale, you have to go digging deeper through the bloody sands.
And I don't want to make you upset by suggesting anything one way or the other. I'm just a historian, so I'm just curious. Did your people support his action? Or there are many factions, and obviously the Genasi got caught in the middle of it all. I'm just curious about Smolder's family and what part they had to play.
Our family has mostly lived here in the dry oasis, and we try not to get involved in the politics and the war. You can tell he's umming and ahhing a lot. You can roll
Yeah, I
an
was gonna
insight
say
check.
that doesn't match what I know about
He's-
Smolder.
He also turns back to Andy for a moment or two as he's trying to tell the story to see if she's maybe listening. You can roll an insight check.
She's listening, but she knows that Smolder had a lot of influence here.
Damn it, my insight checks are trash today.
Yeah.
That's a 4.
Only Irina or
It's at this point you see.
Is Andy making an insight check as well? Sorry, because she's listening.
Yes, if you want to, go ahead. If you're keeping a keen eye on him, I would suggest you roll an insight check.
I would like to insight.
15. Okay. You see, he's been playing with this coin the whole conversation, and you've started up this conversation quite early as you're making your way back, I assume, and he says
I've got a bad feeling about this coin.
he finishes by spinning the coin and then pocketing it, and he says, "Sorry, my."
He's just made an arcane focus. The shit.
He says, "I'll be pleased to answer more of your questions. I think I just need a little bit of time. My head still hurts from the electrocution. Once we get back to the dry oasis, I will answer more conversation."
Sure. I mean, the desert heat's nothing to sniff at. And I literally just give him a look like,
So, yeah, and you can tell he's doing something with this coin. Also, the umming and ahhing, he's not just forgetful or having some sort of heat stroke or anything like that. You can tell with the 15, he genuinely doesn't seem to have all the facts straight.
He's
Hmm.
just
And
gonna
you can tell
say,
as he's trying to recall these facts, keeps looking back at you, Andy.
she's just gonna say, if you don't know the truth or don't want to tell us the truth, then just say so.
He suddenly like stops in his tracks as if he's just been caught out completely. Whatever do you mean, Andy? I'm doing my
You
best
say
to
that your
recollect.
family does not deal in politics here, and yet I know that Smolder had a good influence over the people here. She used that influence to get us out of trouble more than once. So don't lie to me.
Damn.
I'm
I
sick of being lied to. I've just learned truth about various different things. I'm tired of lies. Tell me the truth.
He is silent, and he doesn't dare turn his face to you this time, Andy. He doesn't look in your direction, and you see he hangs his head for a moment. I'm careless, it seems.
No, not careless. You're just being very rude and very stupid. If you want us to be on your side, you need to tell us the truth. Otherwise, it's going to end badly.
He turns and scratches his beard and his scruffy beard away and says, I guess the act is up. I have no relations to Smolder. I have read your minds the entire time. I'm a charlatan of sorts. I saw a powerful adventuring group walking into the town. Just then I knew that you could be very useful allies. It is a simple
Allies?
trick to read one's mind.
Allies for what?
The guard are all corrupt or mind-washed.
Okay.
Or the precious goods have been stolen time and time again. And where there is adventure, there is often gold, I am sure. You know this?
And you didn't just come out and ask her straight away why?
I
Why
didn't
the
know.
charade? Why all this ridiculous chase around? It doesn't make
Truth
sense.
is, I didn't know who you were. I'm not sure if I could trust you if you were under the Mistresses of the Sands spell already or not.
I'm not being funny, mate, but you're charlatan. Uh, you're sketchy. And I don't know if you've noticed this.
Well, you saw straight through me then. Didn't know if it would work, but
If you'd have just straight out asked us for help, we probably would have helped you.
uh, well, it seems you did it without my help. I was going to help you as well, if I'm honest.
Doesn't come across that way.
Help you, help me. But anyways, what is done is done. I apologize for the charade. As soon as I saw young Andy here, I could read her thoughts. She saw me as a relative, or at least hopeful of one. And I used that spell to dig a little bit deeper. At which point I found out the details, most of them. Enough to at least find my way into this party. But there were unforeseen things that screwed it up. I got captured before I could warn you. Living out on these streets is hard. Harder even still when there is people trying to kidnap you and brainwash you.
You know, that's no longer an issue. So,
Then I guess I have no need to keep up this act.
no. But I personally don't want to see your face ever again. So,
Can I see that coin?
Why?
Just it's not a coin. It's a scarab. It's a dead creature.
Sure. He like pulls out of his pocket and flicks it your way.
I slam it into my book.
Yeah, you do so.
I was going
Guess I'm
to
not.
I was gonna slam it into my book if he tried anything with it spell wise anyway.
okay, but to be fair, he's a charlatan. It's easy enough to switch out one coin for a regular coin.
Yeah, but he needs to get a coin for that.
Guess you're not going to give that one back. And it seems the ironic ending here is I end up with less coin than I did when I first started this ruse.
No, he's making me feel bad. Do I need to give him a coin?
No.
Okay.
Together
Oh,
at the same time. Ah,
Look, you stay out of our way, and we're good.
to think we might have killed you and you might have ended up in this book. And I walk away.
there's nothing left for me to say. But
So, unfortunately, we trusted you. You broke that trust, and that is not repairable.
he turns to the others who the part of your caravan and says, yes, trust is a very fragile thing. I hope that no one else in your group has ulterior motive. That takes one quick short bow and then walks off.
The riddance.
Slips behind the building and goes out of sight. Excellent is a very good spell, guys.
What is it?
Like, can we agree that he has definitely remade an arcane focus on the walk back, and that he's probably going to be problematic? Oh, look at the required materials for this spell.
Funny that. Yeah. There was so much for that we're just inspired by just the spell alone.
Huh.
Yeah. Because when you see someone, you can read their service thoughts. I totally imagine when Andy sees this fire genasi, the service thoughts immediately come back to Smolder and their family. And that's what sparked it all off. And he just dug deeper and deeper until he gained enough facts that he could, like, basically play it off. And he has a very high deception, which is why you weren't getting through most of that. But without the spell, you could see his, like, act kind of falling apart. And yeah, Andy, you put your foot down and had enough. Finally called him out. That was really good. You can have an inspiration for that, in fact, Andy, just for the fact you stuck it out and you saw through this graph and just finally put an end to it. Because God knows how long you would have kept that act up for.
She's
Okay.
just gonna look intimidating, very, very murderous and very pissed, and she's just gonna start walking back to the driveway. So she's not. She don't care if everyone's following or not. She's just walking.
Yeah, let's go.
So you guys, without much like threat of the desert, do make it back. Probably just a little bit exhausted, but it's safe here now. You're able to rest up and recover any of that. The guards aren't on the walls as they have been previously. You're kind of entering into almost a bit of a ghost town, but you can see there are people cautiously peering behind like shutters or doors.
Oh no. We left the camels.
Oh god.
No, we gave the camels to the people that left first.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
I distinctly remember us saying that they could have the camels to get back
there we go then.
because they were weakened and frail.
Okay, good. I was like, oh no. We lost the
You think
camels.
I'm gonna leave Camelot to rot? No.
Go Camelot. All right, so you've returned back. What do you want to do now? It's up to you.
Well, the first thing we have to do is try to remove the gears from everyone in town. So I've been thinking about this. So you know how Malone's got the room with the sand and the timer and things like that?
Yeah.
I would like to acquire both Andy and Llewellyn's help with this. And I know this is Malone's focus, but we're just going to borrow some of the sand. And when I say some of the sand, I mean quite a bit of sand. Andy obviously has mage hand, but she also has experience with jeweler's tools. In the sense of like crafting. That's not a word, but that's the first word that came to my head. Llewellyn has whatever skill set he thinks might be helpful in this situation. And basically what I want to do is using this hand, I'm going to... It's kind of a waste, but I'm essentially going to use myself by using Investiture of Flame to superheat the sand and try to make a giant magnifying glass.
Okay.
Like the ones from the Sun and Moon Temple.
Yeah, I get you trying to copy that all magnifying like idea. In that case, give me an Arcana check to see how well you craft this. And you said you was asking for Carius's help, yeah?
No, Andy and Llewellyn's help,
Sorry,
because they're
Andy
both...
and Llewellyn.
Actually, yeah, Carius is probably a good one as well, because if he can almost do what he does with the Fulgurite, with the sand, that could help crystallize and maybe strengthen it?
Yep, true. If anyone who's helping, it doesn't matter who, but so long as I know you've got aid in this,
Oh no, that's Andy.
it will give you advantage. And
Arcana, yeah?
yeah, and Arcana check with advantage. And Carius mentions, Terrig used something very much like this. Carius says, Terrig had like a
Yes, I
huge
know, I
sand...
saw it.
Yeah, well, I got experience with it hands-on, but this stuff isn't made of sand, he says, as you are actually beginning to heat it up. He says, this is tiny little onyx fragments, he mentions. So heating into glass, it's not going to be see-through. He says what you're going to make effectively is a giant onyx disc. It's going to be like a big black glass kind of disc. And he says,
That
hey, you
could
might be able
also
to...
work, though.
And apparently it did, because you just rolled a natural 20.
Because obviously Candlewick himself is smoke. So casting through onyx might amplify that in theory.
Instead of magnifying, it's using the black of the onyx as a shadowy component. That seems interesting. Unfortunately, he says you will be able to do this, but once you do, the scrying sand will need to be replaced with or you might need to break down the onyx again.
Well, the idea was to break it down afterwards, because
Yeah.
that's what I mean. We're only borrowing it.
Which is probably where Llewellyn's help comes in to use disintegrate on it later.
This is the thing. But also we need to get it to the top of the tower.
Right, which is where Carius can help levitating it, or
we then have our
or Andy, I guess.
our our bards that we freed, essentially, and we're going to station them at points, so the north, south, east, and western corners, and then have Andy beneath or on top of the disc. Have them all play the reverse version of the Gias song. Lavellen and I will both cast Remove Curse into the disc and pray to whatever gods we have to have it work on everybody in town.
That is quite marvelous of an idea. Gathering up the people is the only difficult part, in that most of them are a little bit paranoid.
If the Gias is still in effect, then technically the Mistress of the Sands can ask them to come out.
Sure. Except for the ones that aren't, which are the ones that are paranoid. So, really all I'm asking is, how do you guys go about coaxing out the paranoid individuals out of their homes, who have all been shut-ins the past few months, realizing that slowly but surely weird things have been happening in town? This could be another weird thing to them. They need a sense of normality to feel safe. How was a pub?
Well,
Who's
I have an idea.
yeah?
Probably a lot of these people who live here, they've been here for a while, haven't they? Not a lot of them have gone. I start playing one of my dad's old tunes up on the rooftop. One that, you know, a lot of people will remember from him.
Yeah. Yeah. As loud as you can.
And I try and encourage the other bards to join in.
Nice. Yeah, I think Euterpe says, if you wish to lead, I'll do my best to follow along. In fact, as you begin playing the song, she goes, actually, I know this one. I'm sure we'll have no trouble.
I like to imagine that Lavellen goes to lift up the bagpipes and Kashan just goes, no.
No. Really slowly, just
Yeah.
no.
Amazing. So we have we begin like a rooftop. Let's grab all of you. Thank you there. We begin having basically this rooftop music play out into the streets, and it's a tune that everyone's familiar with. How describe the kind of tune? Is it like upbeat? Is it like a dancing kind of tune?
I would imagine it's something that people could dance along with. I'm trying to think, you know, back when Raheem probably played it, I can just see, you know, kids dancing in the streets and all the adults just, you know, enjoying it, you know. Probably Smolder danced to it as well. So it was like a signature piece. So if he played this song, people knew that he was in town and he was putting on a performance sort of thing.
Cool. I like it. But, pick one out, William. This is good. Hey, there we go. I like this one. So, as this begins playing, give me a performance check. And the streets go from this, like, empty, almost ghost town. 21. Oh, and of course, you have advantage and assistance from Euterpe, who's playing alongside you and happens to know the music. You can absolutely roll with advantage. Oh, 21's good. I'm still okay with that. 21 is still fantastic, and you see.
I love the
street
fact that you
evolve.
literally rolled a 2.
I know. But even on a 7, a 21 is like still perfect pitch and play. It's just a little bit quieter than you'd hope, that's all. But as more people start to come out hearing this song, it's infectious. They start to dance along to it. Children in the streets begin to appear.
It's probably quieter because I would imagine with the new knowledge and stuff like that, she's probably not played this song herself since he died. So it's almost like a little bit nerve-wracking for her to play this song.
It's almost like fitting that she's playing it now. She knows he's actually alive.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So I'm just grabbing as many tokens as I can, just filling the streets so that this empty street goes quickly from a ghost town into a colourful explosion of dance and music, and there are smiles for the first time on these people's faces. You can tell they're like looking around, and some of them are asking like, "What's the occasion?" And before you answer back, they're like, "I know what. Screw the occasion. I don't need an excuse to dance." And they just start pirouetting and spinning into the street. And Euterpe is commending you on this tune. Perhaps with a quick pause in the music, she says, "Seems you have a more powerful spell to unite people than I do."
Sometimes you don't need to control people to unite them.
He gives a respectful nod and then puts the flute back to her lip.
I would
Continue
guess
playing.
by this time as well, she's probably forgotten the costume and stuff. She's let her hair out of the turban, you know, all that lot. She's herself again.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
they would have been like, "Oh my God, it's Raheem back from the dead."
Yeah. You see Rothman come out of the bar. He looks around and is like, "Oh, what's all this?" And like starts giving out drinks to people and wine, and it was much rejoicing. You see the couple of faces you recognize, Jamal, who is the potter. You start to see the weaver come out of her home. You see, this is also a time of uniting the families at the same time, because the people you've brought back from the dungeon, effectively, seeing their families for the first time in days, weeks, maybe even months, and there's not just happiness. There's like tears of joy, literally, as people are like hugging in the street.
I imagine
And,
she'll turn to the rest of the group and she'll kind of like let the turkey carry on, thinking the rest of it for a moment. She goes, "This is what the oasis is. It's an oasis of joy, not water."
This is the way I remember it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, slap down some more
And once
artwork.
we know everybody is out in the street, that's when we're actually gonna.
Yay. Okay, with that then, you see Carius beginning to, I guess he's got levitate, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's got something to help do this. Not on his spell list right now, but...
I mean, I can quickly slip it in there.
Hold on, have you got levitate?
Yeah, it's on my violin.
Oh, perfect then. In that case then, yeah, you quickly slip the spell in.
This is like a side little ditty.
Adds a little riff of her own in there.
Adds a riff.
Almost do it as like a performance part, so they don't suddenly go. It's like a little raising platform.
I like it.
It's that scene from Megamind. You know what you're missing? Presentation.
Fantastic. So you play this rising beat, this rising tune. It begins to come to the what's the word, crescendo, and the black disc of onyx. It looks ominous, not gonna lie. But everyone's like, whoa, a little bit more like they're kind of like, whoa, what is this? It's like mysterious and dangerous, but it excites them, and they're excited to see what it does. And it raises up behind you, so it's almost like an eclipse kind of coming up behind you and raises to full height in the streets. And the Velen arena.
Yeah, I imagine we probably had to borrow the glaive to get up there to where the actual.
Sure.
Like I put both of my hands on it, And obviously you watch as Candlewick kind of goes from my fingers into the onyx, and he starts to swirl and get bigger and bigger. So it almost looks like the onyx, I imagine, is kind of like glittering in the light as he's swirling. So it's almost, again, like a stage prop, like the background screen that's going on behind the performer.
Absolutely. And just before this goes off, you see Utopia kind of drops her disguised self and reveals herself as, well, actually, she just changes the disguise self rather than drop it and reveal a Lamia to everyone. That'd be freaky. She instead changes back to a much more recognizable form to those who are under the spell. And she plays a bit of her own strange tune. At first, it's the one you recognize, the one she's played to charm them, but she does it to pull their attention and command them to come closer and look up at the disc. And it's at that point she begins switching the tune back out to the reverse one that Andy played. And she says, well, let's hope this works.
Curious
I
as
will
to
need
how
your-
Llewellyn does his part.
I'll need your assistance as well, Andy, in playing this. You're the one who came up with this tune. Play my song in reverse. And give me another performance check. Again with advantage. And Irina and Llewellyn, you can give me the 31, that's better. Okay. The tune is working. You can see all of the people who are charmed are momentarily stunned and dazed. They stop their dancing for just the briefest of moments. And it's at this point she says, now. She turns to you, Llewellyn and Irina, and I need you to both also roll. You can choose which one's doing this and which one's helping. I'm going to have one roll, and it's either one of your casting mods.
Mine's intelligence.
Yeah. Whereas Irina's is charisma.
Charisma. But I think we're both maxed out on them, aren't we?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter. So we just need one charisma check from Irina, I guess, because you're the one heading up this spell with the onyx disc.
Yeah, I'll be like helping Irina.
Mm-hmm.
I guess as she's like channeling it through the onyx.
Mm-hmm.
Llewellyn is sort of taking it all as it's going, and you see it like travel up through him and into his book in his hand. That's his part of it.
So am I rolling a straight charisma?
You are rolling advantage charisma.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Ooh.
12. It's not
My
enough
rolls tonight.
not enough to break the spell, Irina.
Not with like everybody. Oh, man. Okay.
The performance continues, and noticing this, he turns and says, this cannot be done in a snap of a fingers. I realize this must be performed as a ritual. We continue the song, and she snaps back into your song of your father's, Raheem's song, Andy, and continues playing it. Just so that hopefully no one notices the slight lapse in this, but yeah, you're unable to break the charm on them, and she says, "Nope, they're still very much under my spell." But
Can I just try something else?
yeah,
Okay. I'm gonna obviously turn to Llewellyn and just be like, okay, so that didn't work.
Yeah, I barely felt it.
You have remove curse prepared.
I do.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you to give it a go, and I am going to cast. Basically, you see Irina sort of also kind of start to dissolve into smoke, And then she also goes into the onyx with Candlewick. I'm casting Smoky Form, and I'm going in there too.
There is a heat around your torso, Irina. Candlewick's trying to communicate something with an itchy heat. And it's over your entire torso. From your neck to like your shoulder, just where your arms are, down towards your waist.
Okay.
This is as you're casting Smoky Form. And then you see the smoke from Candlewick coalesce around the center of the disc.
Is he saying that's where I've got to aim for?
The heat then rushes back to your... What are you wearing? You're wearing like a chainmail, aren't you?
Yeah.
Or something. What are you wearing? Inventory. Your armor. You're wearing like a leather, aren't you?
No, it's not leather.
It's a chain shirt. There it is.
Yeah.
It's a chain shirt. You feel the heat on your chain shirt rise. And then it goes back to the circle in the middle. And coalesces into the shape of that.
Great, so I have to remove the armor?
You feel a cold sensation.
Okay. I don't know what you're saying!
An inside check, real quick.
No.
It's always tough reading Candlewick.
My insight's been terrible. See, it's a 3. Like, my
Yeah.
insight's awful today.
All you can tell is that Candlewick is heating up your shirt and then going back to the center of the disc and trying to make a same image. It's like made a shadowy image of the shirt.
Is he on about the X-ray shit through the...
It suddenly intensifies in heat, like unbearably hot.
Like, Andy, can I borrow the shirt, please?
You're gonna have to take it out my pocket because she's still playing.
Alright, I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
I hand it to Lavellen.
It needs to be a see-through disc, I'm guessing. Yeah. Alright. Place it on the center.
You see the center becomes invisible, effectively, translucent to everything else, and the sun suddenly blinding straight through it. Because you've just seen black, and then light suddenly floods through the disc. And it feels hotter than it normally does.
Okay.
Like it's magnified.
Let's try this again. So, Smoky Form. I'm gonna go in and help Candlewick.
Okay.
And Lavellen is going to be the one casting this time.
Okay, sure. Alright, so this takes time this time round, and you notice what she's trying to tell you guys is what Euterpe was mentioning is that this is going to be cast not as an action but as a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes at least like either 10 minutes or an hour at the very least.
But I imagine with the more of us, it's less taxing.
Exactly, yeah. So it's going to take 10 minutes, and during that time, it seems you've gathered everyone in a way that they're not just going to clear off after a few moments. So the hubbub and dancing and joy and happiness continues to swirl in the town until you're ready to finally bring this spell to its crescendo. And the smoke is just circling around it, also blocking out where the t-shirt actually is, the X-ray shirt. For those who are confused as all hell, they have a shirt that allows people to see through things. It creates an X-ray translucent image on the other side. So by doing this on the black disc, you've actually turned the onyx disc into a magnifying glass. It's just, instead of glass, it's onyx. See-through onyx. Anyways, at the climax of this spell, you can recast Dispel Magic. And Lavellen, go ahead, give me an intelligence check with advantage.
Dispel Magic?
And you know what? This time, Carrier says, and you didn't give me a chance last time? Here, have guidance.
Hey!
Oh, Lavalin gets the guidance, Irina says from inside the Onyx.
I'm pretty sure he's got guide. I'm thinking of someone else, aren't I?
I don't think he does. I
No.
don't think
When I say guidance, what I mean is do it right this time, and he just intimidates you. That's what he does.
all I could think for the whole thing was because it's a long ritual and everyone's played music. He's just in some sort of arcane ritual form, interpretive dance
Intimidating.
across the disc.
Yeah. Interpretive dancing somatic components.
And then he attempts to absorb. I'm not doing remove cast as a spell. I'm doing it as a.
Yeah, so you're doing remove curse. Sorry, not dispel magic.
Yeah, but
You know what I meant.
Is this with advantage? Because I'm using Irina as an arcane focus.
Irina is helping very much. Yeah, there's smoke that's obscuring the invisible lens, but then when you're finished, the smoke disperses away, and this brilliant light shines through it, reflecting and spreading out. Sorry, not reflecting, magnifying and spreading out across all of the individuals who have been until now underneath a Gia spell by the powerful bard of a muse. And it's at this point the reversal of the song kicks in and untwines the weave in their minds, storing their sanity and their free will, but not their memories. For them, all they recall is this strange dreamlike moment they had in their life where they were part of maybe some sort of cult, but to them, they're suddenly back on the streets, dancing and enjoying the sun once again. They're no longer locked away in a deep, dark dungeon, but yeah, they have this kind of moments of lapse, but they're happy enough to just suddenly join back into the festivities.
Yeah. They see nothing on their side, but on Lavellin's side of the disc, it's all drawing into him, and then he slams it close into the book. He basically takes all that curse and draws it into the book. That's how how he gets rid of it.
It eats it up. The curse is sent into a void.
So
and you just hear in your book say, "Ah, so many strange secrets magic holds."
Didn't think about that. Okay.
Oh, don't fear that. I can't really do anything with it. It's just
information.
Well, it's nothing I already didn't know. That was a double negative. Anyway, enjoy the fun.
Yep. And I just knock on the glass on it. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're done.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's sort of like this big plume of smoke just kind of, it's almost like you see like this Irina shape kind of like head out, shoulders out, puts her hand against the glass and kind of like pushes herself out. And then just kind of floops.
You can turn to fire, you can turn to smoke, but don't you ever turn to ash on me.
He's literally just covered in soot.
After El Ravanda's very much concerned over that.
That's not likely to happen for a very long time.
A voice calls out from beneath. It's Vara, the strange foxkin that you rescued.
Oh.
And she's like, "Hey, Kashan, you care for a dance?"
No, that's dangerous.
Let's do.
It is dangerous.
Hey, it wouldn't be complete without Kashan accidentally roundhousing someone in the face.
Somewhere in the world, Laffy flinches.
Our whole party last time.
Dancing wouldn't be complete without it. So I'm going to give him a quick acrobatic check and see who he kills this time. Unlucky 13. That's
He injures 13 different people.
Yeah. He also scares away the chickens that like fly around, or the pigeons actually. Yeah, and the pigeons fly around and then end up pooping on people. And he's probably spins into a cart, falls on the cart, which starts like wheeling away down an alleyway.
They're cabbages.
Yeah.
They are Farrah's cabbages, her moldy cabbages.
He does it with style this time. He doesn't look like a complete drunkard. He kind of like, when you fall with style, he's doing that. He kind of like lands on the cart, just like hands back behind his head, feet crossed.
We slowly lower the disc back down to the roof, at least.
Yeah. You lay it on the roof of the Parched Dancer.
It's on the roof of the tower, it should be.
Oh, the tower, okay.
Because we
Okay,
made
the
it
tower-
Malone's tower, it made more sense. Because it's smaller.
I do have an idea, and it does require the disc to be somewhere I can use through it, like we just did. So if we could like lift it up again,
Sure, yeah.
maybe somewhere away from people.
You want to use it to scry. It's the wrong components for a scry now, though. It's a giant disc.
Oh.
Oops, we lost you. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, but don't you need like a black disc or something?
For a scry spell, it's a
Or
number
a
of.
spe- There's
Well,
a
it's like-
spell that you need a black disc for.
Possibly.
Back.
Am I?
Welcome back.
Well, I need the onyx.
You
mean,
do need the onyx.
I was thinking of, and if you'll let me do this, Chris,
Mhm.
merging mirror image and scrying together through this onyx disc to scry.
Are you trying to build a hologram
Yes.
telephone?
I want to scry.
Hi, I'm not spying on you, it's Llewellyn!
Well, no, not quite like speaking to him, but I want to do the scry through the onyx to create an image of what's happening for Andy. So, because I want to scry Raheem,
Oh,
new
see
Raheem.
now. Okay.
Raheem.
So,
But-
Euterpe mentions that you do remember Euterpe kind of creating an illusion of that. She says, "Well, my mirror has something similar to it." Well, not really.
I think what he means is he wants to use the onyx to make the image of what he sees through
Yeah.
it. So Andy
Visible.
can see it too.
So basically, I'm creating a movie of what's actually
Sure.
happening
Okay.
using
You could do
two
this-
spells for flair.
You could do this through telepathic bond. It might be easier.
Yeah,
That one would probably fit the bill because you can make an image in someone's mind of it.
yeah, but I was thinking out of actually casting the mirror image and using that to show what I see,
Hmm.
so they can
I'll
all
take-
watch.
Not out of the realms of possibility, but
And I am willing to use two spells to do it.
I'll
So
tell you what. If you share the vision with someone who can create illusions, like Euterpe, through telepathic bond, then she can create the image for you, and effectively come out with the same result, and that wouldn't require a roll.
okay, I just mean because I have major image as well.
You do, yeah, but you'll be concentrating on the scry, wouldn't you?
Okay, yeah,
So
I'll do that then.
you can telepathic bond, connect Euterpe to the what you're seeing, and then Euterpe will simply create an illusion for you, and then that way everyone sees what you're seeing
We're
as
magically
as an actual visual hologram, effectively.
we're magically taking the scenic route.
Yes,
Basically.
but it works. You get the
Yeah.
same outcome, and it works, and you can start creating or start trying to scry. Now, the first person you're scrying on, did you say was Raheem?
Yeah, because I wanted like Andy and everyone to see her father
Okay.
and
As you begin to cast scry using the onyx disc
and his towel.
and
How?
the towel,
And the towel. We've got an object of this. That makes it easier.
you start to see the disc tremor and reverberate if it's just shuddering. And with that, you actually hear an audible quake as well.
Ooh.
And you see Utopia is concentrating on a spell on Major Illusion, and she actually creates hallucinatory terrain. She's using hallucinatory terrain to actually even make the image seem everything around you. But she says to you over the telepathic bond, says, the image is me, but the rumbling is not. But I feel as though the earth is shaking.
We feel
And
anything?
for you guys, you simply see the shaking of the disc. And in Llewellyn's mind, all you can hear is the grinding, rumbling sound. In fact, let's just find it. Sure, I've got it. But yeah, you can see the towel isn't seeming to make the towel isn't doing anything, unfortunately.
But
Like, you know, you cast it as part of the spell, but it's not having the same reaction as the onyx is.
Oh. And I'm not
Yeah.
getting any image, just
No, you just feel a rumbling.
like the sound of earth moving on itself. Like inside the crystal cave, as we've been told. Or does it sound like lava moving? Because that's what that sounds to me.
It sounds like rumbling, grinding. Sounds like quakes and tremors. And your spell cuts off. It doesn't give you any vision. It didn't last the full 10 minutes. It lasted more like 6 seconds.
The hell?
I don't think it worked. Whatever it did. Your scrying spell, how does it work?
It tried.
Read the description for me.
He's not on this plane of existence. That's why he's not here. And that was the sound of earth moving, so that can only make me think that he's in the earth plane.
I mean, the fact that we found out he was in a giant crystal.
Yeah. I think he's gone where we're heading.
I think this is just my theory. He's gone to get resupplied so that he
Yeah.
could potentially do for Andy what we thought about doing for Andy.
Yeah, if he's gone there and we go there, I'm likely to be able to actually scry on him in there.
Okay.
But it won't work while I'm on a different plane of existence.
But we know he's alive. That's a start.
Yeah, that definitely says he's alive. Still alive. Again.
He's just lucky. Okay. So we know where we have to go. That's a start.
Wow, there's a lot of people converging on one point.
There's a lot of people here.
Everybody wants the crystal cave.
I mean, shiny.
Yeah. Anyway, that was fun. I guess. Not quite the outcome I wanted.
But
I'm
hey,
sorry.
we saved the dry oasis. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't get to see your dad.
Well, we know somewhere out there. That's
Yeah.
more than I thought.
And we kind of technically avenged him too.
Well, you did.
A little bit of help from you.
My cats! And Llewellyn takes off.
Oh my god.
Damn cats.
Damn cat.
To be fair, I
Okay.
kind of want to slink off as well at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start with your slinking.
That's fine.
You're already in the mage tower, effectively.
Yeah, I want to, like, obviously when all the dancing and stuff happened, we saw the Weaver.
Yes.
I would like to go and find her.
Yeah, sure. And you see she's probably reunited with her husband, who she thought had like left her, sorry. But he's like, "Oh, I thought you'd left me." And he's just like, "No, I don't remember where I was. I think I got kidnapped by those terrible creatures in the desert." And
You
they're just
did.
having a little having a
I'm
little
glad
moment.
that you've both been reunited.
You, Nora runs up to you, Irina, and says, This is all you."
Well, we collectively, the Kiastas, as a group.
Then, however do I repay you? You're
Um,
heroes now in the dry wastes. I will make a tapestry of your deeds and
no, that's not necessary. As wonderful as that would be, that's really not
break
necessary.
Kashan.
I do just pass on his song. Kashan will be happy.
Okay.
I do want to take a look at your wares. I'm looking for something in particular. And I was wondering if you could maybe
Of course,
help me with this.
please. Browse, I have many fabrics and colors.
Cool. I am looking for essentially a new set of robes.
We have plenty. In fact, robes are probably our speciality. Being in the
Oh,
desert, nice
perfect.
to have breezy, outdoor wear.
I want something that's got blue and maybe some black in there. Like obviously the library robes are like blue and red. But
Yeah.
I'd kind of like black in there instead of the red.
Okay.
Um,
Begins immediately grabbing the appropriate design.
Like-
Lost in black in the desert.
nothing obviously too showy. It's mostly blue. The trimming is going to be in like black and stuff. Nothing overly fancy in material, but nice enough to look legit.
Sure. Yeah, she brings out it's quite a bright blue, maybe a little bit brighter than what you'd hope. And the material's incredibly silky and soft, maybe softer and silkier than what you'd hoped. But that's just testament to
That's fine.
their materials and their colors are just far superior to Midra's.
Yeah. And I want to make them. I want to make sure that they are larger than me.
Of course. She's got many
Um,
mannequins. She can you find an appropriate sized one.
and then
she
I
begins
kind of
like,
want to find also. I don't know if she can fashion something like this, but almost like on the inside lining to make like a large pocket.
yep. That's a strange design, but I can do it. Yes.
I pull out my journal and just be like, kind of like maybe a little bit bigger than this, just so that there's enough room.
Um. Certainly. Do you want it like buttoned or
Like if you can make like a flap that goes over the top, so like the pocket is kind of concealed, maybe.
with a little button?
Sure, with a button.
Okay. And she points over to a load of buttons. Roll an investigation check real quick.
Can I pick the type of button if I roll
That's what
high
this
enough?
is for. If you get a really good roll, I'll say, yeah, you can find whatever button you want. That's the perfect. If you
Okay,
want to
I'm
find
gonna.
a button that looks like an eyeball, you can find that.
No, what I want to find
Yeah.
is a button that almost looks. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about when I say this, but there's a type of man-made glass that's like blown, and it's done in a way that when it catches the light, it almost looks like a bubble. So it's almost got like
Hmm.
a rainbow sheen to it.
Like an opal.
No, it's not an opal. It's clear glass.
Oh,
An opal is
weird.
white. Yeah, it's iridescent.
Okay.
But there is a type of actual. I can't remember what it's called. I've got
I
some
get
of it
I get what you
in
mean with
my
the
room.
imagery of a bubble, though.
Yeah.
The iridescentness of a bubble,
Yeah,
or like an
that's what I'm
oil
looking
slick.
for.
But if you find an image, you can copy it and paste it into the chat.
Um,
But you find exactly what you're looking for, though. It's somewhere buried at the very bottom. I forgot I had something like that.
oh, hang on, images. There we go. It's not quite.
Send it into the Discord.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Hold on.
Okay. Ta-da-ta-da. All of this for a button. Important. Oh wow. Okay. Cool. There you go. Very nice. Perfect. All right. So that's fashioned into a button on the blue robes.
And then I'm gonna get her to wrap them. Just in
Gift
like
wrap?
brown paper or something, just to protect them.
Okay. Certainly. All right. She hands them to you, and it's normally where I'd ask for payment, but for you, it is on the house.
Are you sure?
This is my honor.
Okay. In which case, if she doesn't want me to pay, I'm literally gonna reach into my pocket, do a little digging, and I'm gonna pull out one of the beads that I've got, and I'm gonna give that to her.
Oh,
This
thank you.
means that you are a friend, and you may call me for help whenever I am in town.
He has like a little, almost like a tiara of beads on her actual head, and she unties the string, attaches this bead into the mix, and then positions it kind of like center on her forehead.
So I'm gonna say I've given her the
Collection of beads.
yeah, I'm gonna give her a red sandstone bead.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Compliments her outfit already. You can see that she's already got like a bracelet with red beads on it as well.
And then I'm gonna obviously. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna. I have to go. I've got some things I need to do, and then I'm gonna hurry back to the tower and start raiding the library.
To be thanking you. Thank you for bringing peace or joy back to our small little city.
You're very welcome.
All right. Okay, you back to Malone's tower.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start raiding the library.
All right. Okay, and you're looking for.
Basically the thing that I messaged you about a couple of weeks ago. I want to start looking into that.
Okay. Some sort of enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, just give me another investigation check as well. For this one.
Investigation. That's a 21.
Okay. Yeah, you start to find the pieces of what you need to start making this into a thing. And yeah, I won't go into too much detail. I'll keep it vague because you want this to be a bit more of a surprise. So you find the thing, and you start doing the thing to make the thing. Cool, good description, but that's all you're getting. And
like if I find the thing that I need, then I know
Right
I
on.
know it's going to take me some time to
Yeah.
learn how to do this and to implement it. So literally for the duration of us in the dry oasis, I'm literally locking myself in the library.
Right. Okay. What before we jump to development, Andy, is there anything else you wanted to be doing on the rooftop, or what you'd be doing as you bring the festivities down?
No, I mean, she's just going to
Generally?
be celebrating and enjoying the fact that things are back to normal.
Definitely. Yes.
So
Yeah.
they'll
Reveling.
probably eventually find her asleep somewhere down an alley in the morning.
Oh,
No.
Just gone back into old habits.
Which is,
with all her new little henchmen.
Yeah.
and for the first time, it feels like you're allowed to let your guard down and literally let your hair down in the same fashion, being that everyone here is freed from their minds. That any guards who did recognize you, they wouldn't have anything against you anyway, being that you've basically saved the city. And if you did come into any trouble, you can imagine that you could handle yourself.
It's a case of she's like, yeah, look, I know that you have a job to do, and it'll be just a fun game of cat and mouse. It's
Yeah.
just a little fun. I wouldn't mean anything malicious by it.
Yeah.
By the way,
Mm.
she pulls one of the guards aside, and she's just basically like, "Have the kids a break every now and again, okay? They're just hungry."
We we'll keep an eye out for people who need shelter and food more than we used to. I think now that our captain is missing, we will have to
Yes,
put a new captain in charge, and
missing.
yeah. This is probably the guard you're talking to who was freed from the jail cells. Speaking of, Bayad was spotted in the midst of that festivities, and I'm going to say we'll let Carius handle that side of things, as he's putting him in charge effectively, and Bayad seems taken aback, but also more than happy and willing to step up.
He's
He's
such a good person.
he's a good guard. He's only ever wanted good things for the people, and he's got those warm eyes that you just feel safe under his watch. All right, so Fayad is going to be instituted as the new captain by way of just the ranks. I mean, the other lieutenant's dead as well, so I mean, it almost fell to Fayad anyway. But cool. Let's jump to Lavelle, and then these damn cats.
This guy
Right.
literally became captain. He got it handed to him. Poor Datan.
Oh god. So you head towards the acacia shade and start looking for these damn cats. You left your familiar here, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess as I go through the door of the acacia shade, I'm like whiskey 1, 2, 3, and unlock it because it's all like unlocked.
Yeah, which 1, 2, 3. That does unlock the door.
Suddenly,
And-
and all these cats go out.
Yeah, the cats I've kept mostly to the basement. So
I go into the basement.
yeah, you find them playing nicely with the familiar. You switched it into a cat, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So your raven normally is familiar with
Flying.
flying and aviary type things, but it looks like they've settled in quite well. The cats suddenly all turn and they immediately and instinctually hiss at you, but then they see who you are and they seem a little bit more friendlier. But they don't just run up to you and start licking
like-
licking your boots.
I like to think I probably brought a few bonds back from the travels.
Oh,
Because I know these ones like bones.
yeah. Strange for a cat to like bones, or a dog thing, but
These are like demonic ones. Because I remember the picture. They had bones in their mouth.
they did actually have bones in their mouth. Sure.
And I start like
You
just
are not.
handing them out, and when I get the chance, petting them to try and convince them I'm friendly and bring them along.
Bring them along. That's a very
That is the idea.
Control from the
strange
ship.
idea.
I always
Okay.
like to do the strange.
So just so everyone knows exactly what cat we're dealing with, I'm just gonna post this again. These are the cat that the villain's trying to tame.
It's just
They
an.
they're
just
very
Fine.
clearly
Why would you let those loose?
vicious little desert creatures. And the more time you spend with them, and I guess your familiar would also inform you, these creatures aren't just demons necessarily, but they are actually native to the Clawed Coast and the deserts of the dry oasis. Hence their long ears, good for cooling off, and their lack of fur, because who needs that in a desert? That'll just boil you alive. And their short, sharp claws for hunting and digging.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna need some sort of animal handling check.
Yeah.
Last time you didn't succeed, but you didn't fail either. It was a middling roll, meaning that you kind of just gained their trust a little bit. But now, if you really want to push through and get them to come with you out of their own home, the home that they've only ever known since birth, then I say good luck to you. Give me an animal handling check, unless you want to add anything to this or try something. They appreciate the bones, of course. Yeah, it's like you've brought them a nice little treat. But you know what they do? You notice, Novellen, that they take their bones and they add it to the pile that they've got, like a little nest in the corner of detritus and bone. And they seem quite content living in it.
I just want to bring them along on the airship.
So you'll have to tell me how are you gonna get them
So these are
to come
creatures.
with you?
These are creatures,
Yeah.
which means I can polymorph into one of them.
Whoa. Polymorph's a beast.
Yeah, but you can polymorph into regular cats and stuff.
Sure, yes, you could do that.
So I could polymorph into one of these.
Isn't a regular cat. At this point, you give me an Arcana check if you want to figure out what the heck these are.
So I thought you said it was a regular cat native to this.
They're native. I didn't say they're regular.
Alright.
I just said they're not demons. Your familiar is telling you through their experience after spending however many days you left us here that you can understand their entomology and stuff. Your familiar tells you these are monstrosities, not beasts, and definitely not demons.
Hey, for once he doesn't want to stick something into his book. Can you not give him that? But 24.
However, the familiar has actually discovered, because it's a 24, your familiar has also discovered something else. Your familiar can talk to you telepathically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There seems to be an intelligence to these. An intelligence that is greater than the average cat.
Rare is telepathic bond.
Oh my.
With the is that what you're getting at? Because that's what I'm getting at.
I just forgot you had that spell, but I'm telling you with the 24 that they understand the familiar to some degree.
I am going to talk to these cats.
Oh no. Okay. So let's just see the spell again. Click it into the chat for me, because this is
Appreciate
bizarre.
it's creatures.
Yeah. It's not,
Oh, this
I
is
just
funny.
want to read the
Where is it? How do I flick it into the chat?
Okay. You form a telepathic link with up to 8 willing Grimishkas of your choice within range. Psychically linking. Okay, creatures with intelligence score of 2 or less are unaffected. Okay, it's intelligent enough to work with this spell.
Yeah.
Until the spell ends, the target communicate telepathically through the bond. Blah, blah, blah. If or it says telepathically through the bond or not. Not they have a common language.
I think it doesn't matter if they have a common language.
The wording of that is really dumb.
Yeah, you can communicate telepathically through the bond whether or not they have the communicative common language. So it doesn't
Okay,
matter
so
if they.
yeah, all right.
Because this is how we did it with the
Yeah.
things on.
Okay, so I'll tell you now, as you've bonded with their mind, you begin to figure out the intelligence and the limitations that they have. They actually understand common,
Oh.
but they can't speak it. But they're not speaking, they're telepathically communicating, so allow me to step into the shoes of whatever this is. They go,
Oh, see, the road one is back. Oh, he brings us bones, yes. Just friend of Gamishka's, yes.
Slowly turning into Snurgs.
Yes, help us. Eat us, we hungry. Ah,
What else do you eat?
food, creatures, small, some big if we get really angry. Yeah, we tear it apart, like pack animals, like velociraptors. Mm.
I'm slightly scared, but also intrigued.
You, your friend here, strange. Not as strong as Grimishka's.
No,
Friend.
but he is useful in other ways than strength. Would you like to join me on a journey that involves lots of food and lots of bones? And safety and coolness? Because I guess the two...
Safety?
Yeah.
Safety doesn't concern Grimishkas. No. So long as food, bones.
I can provide all of that.
You do funny things with hands. Spells, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Weird stuff.
Yes.
Amuses us. It does.
I love this.
Wee Yoda.
It does.
I really want to bring them along. The more that Chris talks about.
We know about wavy handy stuff. Oh yes. We've learned to dodge. We've learned to evade.
So, yeah, I can provide you with food, drink, bones, plenty of bones, and some spider things that you can chase down. They like to be chased.
Chase. We chase you? Maybe.
Not me, spider. Me, friend.
But you do funny wavy magic stuff. It's fun to chase and eat magic. No, not eat it. Oh, just dodge it.
I guess I start prestidigitating different like orbs around them that just like...
yeah, you see them jump up and down and try to swipe at them, and they seem very amused and awestruck by all things kind of like magical. They seem to understand it as well. They know what you're doing is just an illusion in places, and but they seem to be frolicking and having fun with it.
It's like a laser pointer, basically.
Yeah, but it's like they know what it is at the same time, and they're like,
Oh, can you make it smell? Oh. Make it fizz. Make it bang.
I do.
Yep, and predictably they seem to enjoy this spectacle. And it's interesting. Most creatures would be like, "What is this? What?" They don't understand it, but this they seem to just seem to be clued in. In fact, it's often weird. I'll say that sometimes when you create little magical orbs around them, some of them almost get pushed away from them, and you actually see them. Some of the glitter that you make, like falling down, it actually doesn't land on them. It like falls around them.
Oh, they're like anti-magic. That's cool. If I didn't already
And at
have
this, yeah, at this point, your book speaks up and says, seems they possess a limited spell immunity. Interesting.
Yeah. If I didn't already have that spell, they would be pretty useful.
Nonetheless, they would make a useful. Well, they'd be comfortable in the presence of a wizard, considering they could be, well, not harmed by any misfires.
That is cool. That is a very good idea. I'm glad you're on board with this.
Yes.
I like the idea of you being like a different version of Mr. Burns. Just like, release that!
So they still are. One of them, like, they're fighting over one of the little magical orbs at one point, and they viciously like snap at each other. They are still quite, dangerous little creatures to keep around.
And
But
all cats.
so they turn back to you and they say,
So, you wish Gromishka comes with you, huh?
Yes, you can bring all the bones you've found so far. We'll find a place for you to stay, and usually every day a magical mansion opens full of food, bones, spider things for you to chase that are also magical.
Magic's fun.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe.
roll a persuasion check, and I'm going to say with advantage because you've actually hit the nail on the head. They are enticed by magic.
Yeah.
So with advantage, you can roll a. Sorry, yeah, it is persuasion because you're not animal handling anymore. I just realised what I'm doing. What roll I just asked for when you're talking to these things. But yes, that is a success, and with that, they go.
Okay, yes. So long as... So long as we get to play with magics every day. Yes?
Yeah, that's fine.
And you don't keep us in cages, no?
Why would I do that?
Good. We come. Collect the bones, everyone.
How many of them are there? You never clarified. You said there's a couple of like.
There's swarms of them.
That's what I mean. Can I roll for how many there are?
Sure. Roll 2d4 plus something. 2d4 plus 4.
Yeah. 9 of
There's
them.
nine. There's 9 Grimishkas. The
That's-
same amount as muses.
That-
The 9 muses. The 9
Oh.
Grimishkas.
Also 9 lives.
The 9 lives.
The
yeah,
9.
there you go.
Jesus.
Oh my god, it's actually all just one Grimishka, like split into 9. That'd be weird. Okay.
We're going to have lots of fun, yes. Yes. Oh, what's your name?
Llewellyn.
The Smellin. We shall have much fun.
Listen.
Lead on.
And they begin to follow you. And you can just roll one last little insight check as they follow you.
Sure. I don't know what I've done. Like, is this a bad thing? But
5, you don't really catch on to anything other than they seem very eager to follow you. Whereas before they were like, nah. Now they just seem like, now you've mentioned magic, you cast it and they've seen you do it. Yeah, they're following you like the Pied Piper. It's a
That's-
little bit
That's fair.
confusing,
That's not
but they
bad.
just turned. It's like they totally flipped 180, but you don't see why or how, or you just think you're a good at talking to them. All right.
I mean, it's 13 technically, not 5.
Yeah, I know.
But,
Okay, so that I think is a good place to end it. We'll wrap it up with the
Grimishkas,
and,
finally.
to end it for a good image, I like to imagine that at some point Carius is just like flying over the city and he sees Lavellen walking out of the city, followed by the Grimishkas,
Oh god, yeah.
heading
Look like-
towards the airship.
I literally like the Pied Piper. It's very strange, but I love it, and we'll see where it goes. Now that I've read a little bit more about them, yeah,
No,
we're gonna
I'm
have
just
fun.
every so often he's just poofing like prestidigitation glitter behind him.
Oh yeah, and they seem to be like again fighting over it and chasing after you, and they seem to almost like get ready to pounce on your back, but you hear one of them just as your just as your telepathic bond is running out. They're like,
No, not yet. We wait.
No, what have I done?
They're literally gonna try and eat you, Lavellen.
It won't be the first time something has.
all right, well that was fun. Thanks for watching, even though we only had a couple people this time around, but still more than enough to bring this fun little arc to a close. And well, we'll see what happens on the next session, where they finally return to the main city of Gaidia and see if they can navigate the encounter with the Sultan. All right, tune
Yeah,
in
we
then.
brought you a gift. 9 Grimishkas.
Yeah. All right. Till then, signing off here. All right.